Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here on the Xisuminati Modpack server. Thought I'd start this episode off on the outside because we spend so much time down there working on projects I forget about this massive thing that we built. And it's temporarily being used as a tree farm. This thing looks awesome. We really do need to get around and finish that at some point. But we've done another live stream. I've just finished streaming, so you can probably tell that by my voice. And we're going to go down here and have a look in the base at the new project that we did in this, I was going to say episode, it was a live stream. So this is the room over here, and you can see that we've gone with this chiseled nether brick on the outside. So kind of matches the other ones really. We've got some, I guess you'd say sort of bluish green blocks over here, then we get some yellow and now reds, and the next room will probably be blue, which we'll do in the other area. But like I said, I went and did it. I made this into a window and just took the same design as we got over there and applied it to what we're going to build over here, which is a farm for crops. And this thing has been producing tons of them so far. We're using an imaginary time machine to speed it all up, and the way that this thing works is pretty cool. So when it comes to explaining things, oh wow, it's like the server just decided to catch up with itself for a second there. Things might be a little bit derpy with this. Either way, it works really well. So what we have is we have some netherworts, carrots, wheat, and over there are quartz berries actually. You can make quartz with this stuff. And yeah, the way I had to make this farm was with 4 planters and 1 harvester. So the harvester goes over the area of all of these. If we press F and bring out the hammer, you can see it covers all of that area. And as I move around here, you can see there's a sort of overlapping area in the middle, like in this strip and that strip, and that's because we've got 4 planters. We've got 1 right below where I am right now, and over here, and over there, and they've got a range of 5 by 5. So what I devised that we should do is make it so that we use a different type of material that can't be planted onto the next one. So if we were to have wheat and carrots like side by side, they would fight over that overlapping area, which might not be the worst of problems to have really. But by doing it like this, it means only netherworts can be planted here, as carrots can't be planted onto the soul sand, and netherworts can't be planted onto the tilled soil. And then so in this corner over here we've got tilled netherrack again. That's only for the quartz berries. Now a slight problem that we have here is that we can't till these ones because they're too far away from the lava, which is actually hidden beneath this block, and that's so that you can't see it on the side, which is probably a little bit ridiculous. So what I'll probably do is move it over here and till this as well, so that doesn't get wasted. But that's the layout. It took us like a long time to figure out all the logistics of this, and now I'm sort of breezing through it like it was no problem. But this thing is getting powered from down below. We're also taking the sludge that this produces and putting it into an ender tank, so we'll go and check that out in a moment. But all the crops and seeds from the farm go into that chest, and if we pop down here, you'll see it's got a transfer node with a healthy amount of speed upgrades. Probably too many. I'm going to take some of these out because it's not going to need that many to run. And it sends them over into these planters. Now originally what we were doing was using retrieval nodes to take the items to the planters. And then we sort of encountered this problem where, for example, like carrots and netherworts, what you use to seed them is also the output as well. So when these were full, how could we then output the items to a different chest? And what we're using here is the simple furthest away rule. So the output is the furthest away, it's the ender chest over there, and that means this thing is going to look for the nearest planters first. And what we have right here is a filter pipe. This thing is fantastic. I think you can use an item filter in here as well. Just drop it in, you know, one of these types, and it will filter multiple items. But we're basically saying netherworts go in here, and then when netherworts are full up, they're going to go past this one and all the way down to the ender chest at the end. So basically each of these filter pipes are a priority before our output goes to this ender chest. And that's the way that all of that works right there. It was a fun project, it took us a lot of time, and it's done now. It really is. I might have to come back here and tweak 1 or 2 things. Also, these glowstone panels are for lighting, so things grow nice and fast. So if we head down to this room over here, did I have something to show you? Yes, I did. It's just this thing, the ender tank. We've got another one right here. This thing is full of sludge, and I think I talked about it in the last episode that you can turn sludge into netherrack. Well, it turns out that a sludge boiler just takes sludge and creates a whole bunch of different blocks. It can also poison you if you get too close to it when it's working. So there's our sludge boiler. It's a different dirt, just void it. Oh right, It's a different type of dirt that goes into here. Okay, I'm going to show you quickly before we die. Oh no, we can't die of poison, but whatever. So apparently, yeah, look at that, 3-1, so it's not regular dirt. So we'll have to avoid that. But this is producing other things that could be useful, like sand and clay and red sand as well. And so basically it takes sludge and just gives you random blocks, and it'll also poison you if you go near it, which isn't too pleasant. I'm going to eat the last of my dimensional bread here. So what I'm probably going to do is set that up to input directly into this storehouse, and then when this thing starts to fill up with lots of a particular type of item, we can move it into a cache using our retrieval nodes. And those items at the moment are seeds and wheat and nether warts. Yeah, we need to give them their own little cache on the side here, which is what I'm going to do next. And I'm hoping to do other couple of little things in between our next stream, but if not, of course, I'll just update you once we've done our next stream. So we haven't live streamed or anything like that, we're just here at spawn because I got a comment on the previous video that was absolutely fantastic, and it is this direction over here that we need to go to these wonderful, oh my god, there's so much stuff. I really need the time to explore these places. It looks like we have some sort of zombie villager building over here. That looks really cool. But these are what we come over here for. You can see we've got the lovely wolf and dog buildings right here. These are so cool. Love the use of those carpenter's slopes. And we've come over here because we're going to pick up ourselves a couple of dogs. And I have no idea what the price is or how to use this shop. So maybe there's just 2 available. Can I like right click on this and open it? I feel like I should be able to do that. Oh, there's also golden lassos already here and some crunchy bones as well. Maybe you just got to press this button. And then bam, out of nowhere will a wolf appear. I hear barking. That's these chaps back here, isn't it? Maybe we've got to walk down here. I don't know. Oh, there you go. Oh, awesome. And a wolf is delivered to us. So we're going to take a few of these because we've had trouble automating the Wither Skull farm. And I got a comment suggesting what we should do. Oh, you can see a little doggy go by. That's brilliant. I like these, by the way, conveyor belts. I want to use them at some point. And now he's glitching back and forth a little bit. Let's take the doggy and get ourselves 4 of these in total. So we're going to use this in our wither skeleton farm. I've been using that to farm witches a lot of the moment. We're actually going to just start farming wither skeletons exclusively. They're going to be spawned in at 1 hit, and then we'll use the wolves to kill them. And I think because the wither skeletons are 1 hit, these guys might not take damage. Actually, thinking about how it works on vanilla on the Hermitcraft server, they would actually take damage. So I don't think there's a price. I think that's just a fun little shop for people that need wolves, and a very cool way to deliver them as well. So now we're going to head back to the base, and we're going to put these wolves in that farm, convert it over so it's all wither skeletons, and we may be able to now automate the process of collecting wither skulls. Now, many of you have been leaving comments about you can use an autonomous activator, you can use a grinder, and some other suggestions as well. The things we've tried so far, the autonomous activator and the grinder doesn't work. Neither do diamond spikes for beheading the wither skeletons. So unfortunately that doesn't work, and that's why we're trying this solution. So somewhere in here I should have my safari nets. I should have a lot more than this. I'm sure I'll be able to find them. So I think I got excited about this idea working and didn't really fully think it through because I've just walked away from this and the wolves have teleported to me. So it would be a temporary way to farm them if I'm on here sort of AFK, but otherwise it's probably not going to work. And I've got to deactivate these again. Anyway, I brought some slime blocks with me because when they were in here, they wouldn't attack the wither skeletons, and I can't help but feel the fact that they're all bobbing around in water made things kind of awkward. Now, these guys are going to die because of fall damage if there isn't water down there, so I'm hoping that these slime blocks might reduce, or better yet, like eliminate or fall damage. That's a bit hopeful, but you know, we have to test to find out, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Which means I've got to remove all these tesseracts again, then I've got to kill the skeletons, and then we can move the water. Well, I was hopeful, and that was foolish. This doesn't reduce fall damage, so the wither skeletons just fall down and die. What we could do is put some water higher up with some signs underneath. That would work, but I'm hoping to find something a little less tedious to put together using modded, and there is a whole bunch of blocks here, and I probably have no idea which ones could reduce fall damage. So if you do know, then leaving a suggestion would be great. I think the only other thing I've got to try now is the water and signs, because it's the only thing I can currently think of. So that was unfortunate that that didn't work. Now we've got to pick all of these chaps up again, because as I go grab the materials, they're going to teleport to me, which is no good at all, is it? So let's swap this over, and hopefully this time we'll be able to get ourselves some skulls. Could have swore this thing was full a moment ago, but the netherwarts one below it is. You can see I've upgraded these caches. This is where we're storing all the drops from our farms. And these ones over here did not get enough. And it seemed like the farm that we built was prioritising the ones that were closest, and they sort of took over production. Now, I found this because we don't have enough power at the farm, and I was looking for things that were using power to sort of shut down or turn off temporarily. And this would be one of them over here. Now, because these ones are the closest, they've sort of like had all their items delivered first, and then eventually these ones have run out of items as well. And then I thought I disabled it earlier, and I made a mistake of just removing an item from the filter so anything could go into these. And they've continued to farm carrots and netherwarts, but now I've disconnected these pipes. The only two that will activate are the two at the back. So it's a bit unfortunate that it worked out like that. Because that's kind of bad design in some ways, but I had no idea it would do that, so I need to chuck some seeds into the system so this bit over here gets used. So now quartz is being farmed again, but what I might do is just disable this altogether temporarily because we need the power for other things. So I'm going to take this tesseract back, and I'm going to plop some seeds into the system as well so they can be planted over there. And yeah, that was just unfortunate that that happened twice in a way, because I thought I fixed it. I came onto the server in the morning and this thing was just full up with netherwarts. Everything had backed up because of it. The carrots aren't full yet though, so we'll chuck that in there, and we'll put some seeds down below. Right, so we should free up a little bit of power now and get some more with a skeleton spawning. So hopefully this time we'll be able to automate getting some skulls. So after all of that, it turns out that wolves don't attack skeletons in this mod pack. It might be the Minecraft version, but that doesn't sound right. I think they have attacked them for a long time. So that's not going to work either. That is so unfortunate. We are just having the worst of luck trying to do this. I really don't want to use that farm item, because then it's just such a simple and easy way of getting skulls. But everything else we're trying at the moment refuses to work. So I'm not sure what to do at this point. So we just did another live stream, and I've actually got my chat still open, and people are still talking about what we did in the stream. But anyway, I got things to show you, and quite a lot actually, although I might forget all the things that we did in the stream, because we covered lots of little bits and bobs. In fact, one of the ones I am going to forget, just in this room that we upgraded our little, what are they called, ender generators over here to the next level. So this has provided us with tons more power, and we've really felt that around the base. Seems like everything is running pretty well, including our wither spawner over there. And if we go into this area, you can see a farm that we built. Now this didn't work, and we were testing it just at the end of the stream. In theory, it looked like everything was going to work, and it didn't, which was really unfortunate. So if we plop down here, we have a breeder. This breeder affects this area right here. So we can have cows in here. When they get bred into baby cows, this thing should pick them up and move them to the other side. You can see here it's got a baby cow in the safari net, and we have a type match, and it's whitelisted. Thing is though, it didn't really do anything, and then after a while it teleported all of the cows in this area directly above itself where they died inside this block. That's really strange, because it's supposed to put mobs the other side of them, and I've been told apparently what we need is a chronotyper, so I'll look into that. But yeah, the idea is that this mob router takes baby animals, puts them in here. This one takes adult animals from this area, which it scans, and puts them in the area behind, which is a diamond spike, and then we'll put like something to pick up the items back there. So that was the plan. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. And yeah, it's like a bit of a mystery as to why it did that. But if we try the chronotyper, maybe that'll make the difference we're looking for. So this is the room, by the way, same as that style over there. We've gone for blue around the outside, which I don't think particularly matches this too well, but we said we'd go red, yellow, green and blue on the stream. So I've been reminded of something else to show you down the bottom here. So we're going to go all the way down to the red room, because we had some trouble with this. Basically, I think in the previous clips I talked about how this wasn't working, and it's still sort of not working, but we might have fixed the problem. I've also disabled the imaginary time machine for now. I think that thing is way too powerful. So we're going to pop down here, and you'll see that now what we've gone for is a snake. So the pipe will visit past every one of these planters before going to the chest at the end. So when you turn that to off, by the way, it means that it will leave one behind, which we actually don't need. But over here you can see, I think it's a case of they're just not getting enough seeds at the moment to fill up, and then fill up these ones as well. So over time, hopefully it will do that, and then this is just going to be for those items now, which is wheat and quartz berries. Yeah. So hopefully that fixed that problem. Either way, Let's move on from that. That's one of the things that we did. Let's go up top and look at how the wheat gets down to the farm at the end, because it's really simple. We sort of route everything through our storehouse, and then that goes over to this right here, and this cache is now hooked up to this thing, which is a unique ender chest. So it's full of wheat, or it's filling up with wheat, and when this thing is full, it'll stop taking from the cache as well, which is pretty cool. Nice way to set it up there. You can see it is getting a little bit low though, probably enough for another 15 stacks, so this thing should fill up, and that's hooked up to the breeder down below. So whenever it needs to breed, it takes from here, and then this thing takes from there. So when our farm down below is working a little bit better, this thing can stay stocked up, and if we ever see it low like that, then we know that we need more wheat for breeding. But then that should provide us with a steady stream of leather and also meat as well. Now I'm not going to break any of these signs until I've done a lot more of them, because what I found is when you have the different wood types together, you break one and then the other ones pop off as well. So I lost some of my notes, so I managed to get them back though. And yeah, that's one of them over here. The food farm, and I think that's actually it. Build leather farm, that's the other one. Alright, so we also did this finish sludge boiler output over here. So what I've done is over here out of the way so we don't get poisoned, I've just finished setting that up as it says. So now this chest in the middle, oh, that's interesting that it's got gravel in there as well. I just need to hook these up to the item filter on this side, don't I? We can do that right now. So we have one that's going to bin items. We bin things like this because we're generating them elsewhere, and it's just going to back up the ender chest. So let's take those, add them to the bin list. So the reason that there's already dirt on there is because it's a different type. You can see it's free 1 and free, and we don't really need those things. So let's chuck them in there. So the sludge is going to be creating this stuff around the clock, and then the stuff that we want to keep, which is clay, red sand, podzol, mycelium, soul sand, and netherrack, goes into that side. So that's that one taken care of as well. As I said, we did a lot of things this stream. We also added the caches for them over here, so now you can see we've got those things being stored and slowly generated around the clock as we, the other farms run and they create sludge. So now we're going to look at the last thing that we did, which is in this room. We've extended our setup down here a little bit more. Let's put a torch on the ground so we can see it nice and easy. So we found out that you can add a transfer node to one of these and take from its input block. So down the bottom we now have a blue one here. So whenever gravel goes into there, why did this thing stop pulver? Oh, right. That's interesting because the sand has now filled up, and that will actually back up our entire system. Right. We might need to make an independent one of these and just void the sand, because that's not going to work anymore. Didn't realise that at the time. Okay, so gravel comes through, goes down into this X Neo or X asterisk sieve, and this is one of the ones that you can upgrade. Now, I said that I didn't want to farm anything that couldn't be farmed another way, and we're going to do diamonds, but there is actually another way to farm diamonds, but since we need them, we'll do this temporarily. And we got a diamond, that's amazing. So around the back here, we've got things that we're going to trash, which is aluminium, copper, iron, and tin. We also need to add gold to that list, as we've already got farms for those. And then things that we can't farm elsewhere we'll actually take from this sieve. So what I found out with a diamond is that you can actually make these with this over here. So if ever we make a mob skull farm, we've already got emeralds, gold, and then we can make a potion farm. That would be a really cool project to make diamonds with, as opposed to doing something very simple like this. If we go back a step though, we can see all the things that it sieves right here. So there's other things that I don't think you can farm any other way, like lead. I think the only way to make lead is using this. But I don't know. We don't need to go through that right now. I also need to reconfigure this setup. But basically, we're hooking it up to do the things that we can't farm elsewhere. I've also accepted lapis at the moment, but I think we should stick to that rule and make our other lapis farm more efficient and actually ditch that. Same for emeralds as well. I know that they're coming through and it feels like a good idea to keep them, but I don't want to rely on this sieve. I feel like it's very overpowered, one block that just gives you tons of random goodies, and we should look at, farming them other ways. So that's what we'll probably do. Anyway, that's it from me this clip, and I have no idea when I'm next going to be recording. You know how these work. So another stream down, as always, doing little bits and bobs, and in this one, overall, we didn't really get too much done. It was kind of casual, bit more chatty, and we made this thing over here which kind of looks ridiculous. That's just a little room for the quail eating ducks, the QED. And we also had an amazing little base tour around Emi Saku, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Yeah, their base, which I think they've made with someone else, absolutely incredible. We found these things in them, item displays, which look cool, and made some item racks as well, or drying racks to hang up items. That looks really great as well. Anyway, going back down below, I want to show you a couple of things that we have done. So if we go into this room over here, you can see it's now finished in its entirety. And we've also put void stone, energized void stone, which is animated up in the ceiling. But it turns out the problem that we had with this could be fixed by using the chronotyper. So that's it down there. On its interface, you pick babies or adults. So the babies get moved through to here. When they go through to adults, they get shoved into... Well, actually, now that I think about it, and I've got a little bit of lag going on, this might explain why. I'm going to go down here, and there's a cave somewhere around here, right? Or maybe there isn't. I'm expecting to see some cows wandering around. Maybe we were actually fine because it moves them into an area. No, I've got it completely wrong in my head. We're fine. Ignore me. It moves them into a 1x1 area now that I think about it. I remember seeing it. So, and I've lost a lab block. I'll come back and fix that at another time. So yeah, it gets put into that little space. There's an ender chest and something to pick up the items, and of course we made the caches up top to pick them up. So all of that's been taken care of. As well as that, also just set up a hopper clock over here for the villagers. Discussed this a couple of times, I think, adding a clock over here, and let's see how it's doing. That would indicate that it's not going fast enough, believe it or not. So let's reduce this the time of this by like half. So 4 blocks, there's 8 in there in total. And I think it's been a bit laggy. There you go. So we increased the speed twice, and hopefully we can find a nice balance. And basically what it's doing is it's locking it, and then it's going to temporarily unlock it. And yeah, that should make emeralds around the clock. So I'll keep my eye on that. But that is going to be it from me this episode. And there's not much else to say, really. That's kind of like all we did. So there you go. As always, thank you ever so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.